Welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly.
Everybody, happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's staying cool. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I think we're still expecting maybe a couple others, but we can be all set to go here. Wanted to start off by introducing our new member, Douglas Kessler. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Do you want to take a moment just to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Well, good afternoon. I'm Doug. I'm the president of Professional Courier Services based here in Grand Rapids. We are a 44-year-old transportation and courier service that's based downtown here. And just a privilege to be here and looking forward to getting involved in this organization. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to have you. All right. We'll go ahead with approving meeting minutes from February. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 2024?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any questions, comments, additions, subtractions on the minutes? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, carried. Thank you. And now we'll accept a motion to accept May 2024 financial statements. Anybody? Thank you, ma'am.
Support.
All right, motion and supported. All right. Tim, any comments?
No, just Tricia wasn't able to join us today. She included the memo and statements in the packet as per usual. Everything is tracking as normal. We're 11 months through the fiscal year, so 1 month ago, and we've spent about 70% of the budget for the year. So we're doing well.
Sounds good. Any questions?
Say we use 70%?
So there's going to be a lot due at the end.
Yeah, we got to get into planning. There's still some bill that'll come to the ambassadors.
Okay.
So we'll likely be right around 100%.
All right. We'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Carried. Okay. Motion for the fiscal year 2025 budget adoption. I was like, Jess? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. I was
Motion
getting
and
tired.
supported. Comments, Tim? Or
Yeah,
Melvin on the
I'll look
budget?
at Melvin to kind of walk through it, but just a reminder for everyone, the process. So we had a multi-year plan approved 2 years ago. That set the budget for 3 fiscal years. You all recommended this budget to the city commission back in February. We presented it to the commission in May. They approved it with no changes. It now comes back to you just for the administrative adoption. So there hasn't been any changes to it, but we do need to do this step to finalize it. And Melvin, if you want to just kind of do a quick run through and remind everyone what's in there.
So in your packet should have been a copy of the actual budget itself, but on the screen I've just got a few highlights. So
Just a reminder, we increased the area-wide assessment by 4%. If you recall, for those of you that were around, we built into the plan a sort of ability to step up the general or area-wide assessment based on statewide inflation, which was something we had long been trying to do as part of the DID plan. So statewide inflation was around 5% for this last year. So we decided to increase the area-wide assessment by 4% so we could keep up with rising costs of services. We made no changes to the residential or snow melt assessments. And we had a $50,000 maintenance grant as part of the previous budgets that ended, and so is not part of the revenue for this grant, or this budget, excuse me. Expenditure-wise, with the 4% increase, we increased the irrigation line item just to sort of match rising costs of taking care of the expanding irrigation in downtown. Some of it's also fairly old, and so it needs a little bit more maintenance than some of the new stuff. Increasing the flower planting line item, that's both due to costs increasing and some minor expansion throughout the district. And then reduction in the special project line item, which is a reflection of the residential assessment not going up, but losing the $50,000 maintenance grant. So that's an additional add-on services for the ambassadors that will be going down for this fiscal year. Paul has a question.
On the residential assessment. For some reason, I thought there was going to be an increase, which I fully support. Any word on that and why it wasn't increased?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So as part of the plan and sort of our tour around talking to the neighbors, we sort of made the promise to not increase the item right away, and so we wanted to make good on that promise, and so we wrote into the 3-year plan that we would not increase the assessment. There was in the projections during the plan an increase in that line item based on there being more units to assess. However, those units have yet to come online, so we had to make an adjustment to the budget this year to reflect that those units haven't been assessed by the DID.
Perfect.
I think we are expecting them to be available for next budget, but we'll have to kind of see.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
We do accept voluntary payments.
Yeah, if you want to make a donation, I'm happy to accept it.
Donations.
I do have a question about voluntary payments.
Yeah.
When you list the uncollected assessments, are those all voluntary payments that are not collected, or?
Are you talking the uncollectible?
Yeah, well, right,
Portion.
the anticipated uncollected assessment.
Those are class 2 properties, so those
Okay.
are public entities. So
Okay.
universities, city, state, actually the city pays, but the state. GVSU is a payer for their portion of the
Yeah.
You are a good actor.
Yeah.
But not all pay. But that's what that represents.
Is the county paying that?
County does not pay.
Okay.
How much is the, I'll ask you later.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, give them, hey,
Come on, guys.
be a good steward. Any other questions on the budget? All right, yeah.
I saw the change from ambassador program to ambassador program clean and safe. And I was gonna ask later, like, where is the, I know we've done some private contracting in the past for safety. I know there's been an emphasis with some ambassador stuff. Where does that fit into here? What's the reason behind the name change? And then is that more DDA focused? So it's like bigger picture, but then I saw the definition change.
Oh, sure. Honestly, it's just an administrative change so we can track it better. Before, the item used to be split between a couple of different line items and buckets within the DIT budget. I think one line item was called cleaning services and one was called like safety and hospitality or something. So Tricia and I just sort of merged them all together to be one line item to track it a little bit easier for us. Because it was hard to code one invoice 3 different ways between 2 DID line items and a DDA line item. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
yeah, good question.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you very much. And now I will, can we get a motion for the Monroe Center snow melt repair? And support? Okay. Thanks. All right, so for the snow melt repair.
Okay.
You got this, Melvin?
Yep, that's me.
Okay.
So there was a couple of leaks on Monroe Center that we observed sort of late in the season this year, right kind of near as we were going to wind down the snowmelt operation for the year. So worked with Geotech and their providers to sort of look at the leak, kind of make an assessment, and basically between the two sites that were leaking, about $17,000 for repair, kind of broken that cost down. So $25,000, give or take, for some excavation of the site, as well as materials and just sort of labor and administration, totaling about $9,000. So total cost of this is about $34,036.65 to repair these two leaks on Monroe Center. So I think it happened in like early March. We ended up shutting the snowmelt system down late March. The weather was pretty mild for this winter, so it didn't really impact operations and was still able to operate normal until it was time to shut it down.
Where are the leaks?
They're in the mid block, which is where we repaired some leaks last year. It's one of the older sections of the snowmelt.
Is it all within our current budget?
Yeah, we should be able to fit this. I don't anticipate much more expenditures coming out of the snowmelt line item, given that it's June and it's been shut off since at least late March, early April. So
That's somewhat that's the question that I've got. Is, I see the do not exceed. The system's getting older. Are they going to find something new? And how do we deal with that?
if they find something new, the do not exceed should normally cover a contingency. So if they do find stuff, we'll sort of make space for that.
Melvin, can you remind us, so it was maybe a couple years ago that they came in to do a presentation,
Yep.
correct? And was that really to show, if I'm recalling, did we take care of all of those repairs or any of the suggested items that they brought up at that time over years? It was kind of an update on where we were.
Yeah, so they kind of outline, we're working from like a broad maintenance strategy that Geotech put together prior to that presentation. So they conduct all of that maintenance and sort of general upkeep periodically while the system is running and throughout the summer while the system is not running. So we make changes to backflow preventers and things like that while the system is off. But yeah, we're constantly doing as much preventative maintenance as we can. Typically where we see leaks like this happen, if you recall from the presentation, it's often due to a failure in the PEX tubing. So we think that when this system went in, get into the details, but the ground essentially wasn't leveled properly, and so these cavities sort of form around the PEX tubing, and then the PEX tubing flexes. The PEX tubing is what the water goes through to heat up the sidewalk. So these cavities form, and the PEX tube sort of flexes in and out of these sort of air pockets, creating bulges and breaks, and then the PEX tubing fails and leaks, and so we have to excavate, remove the PEX tubing, put the PEX tubing back in, and then sort of fill the existing airspace around the PEX tubing to make sure it doesn't happen again. I learned everything I know from them, so.
Any additional questions regarding snow melt repair? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion for the My Candy flower planting contract. And a support? Okay, second. Thank you so much. And this one, I think Melvin has, this is as a reminder, a shared contract, correct, between Tifa and DDA as well?
Yep. So we have through the ambassador program, we have a contract with McCandy Gardens, who does all of our downtown plantings throughout the district. They've been our partner for almost 10 years at this point. They've been a really good partner. They do a lot of work for us. They, as you can see, I've got some examples of their latest work from last summer up on the screen, and I think they really just do excellent work, and can't thank them enough for all of the stuff that they do for us in terms of planting and picking out colors and making sure what they put downtown is both hardy enough to survive in a tough urban environment, and also looks really good a lot of the year. So as part of this contract, we renew our our payments to them every year because of the fluctuating price of both labor and materials that go into these plantings. And as Chair said, it is a split cost between the DID, the DDA, and the TIFA. So the total cost of services is $185,300, which includes a small contingency in the event that we want to expand something, or we have, a sudden loss of plant life due to our failure to water them or take care of them properly. The way that breaks down is the DID budget's $115,000 for that out of their upcoming fiscal year budget. The DDA covers or we hope the DDA will cover $64,300 of it at their next meeting, and then the TIFA will cover $6,000 of it. They won't have to approve that at a meeting, but just some light planting up in the TIFA that we have an agreement with an independent caretaker up there. The ambassadors don't actually manage or care for the flowers in the TIFA. Happy to entertain any questions about flower plantings or horticulture.
Great job.
Mm-hmm.
Who could be against flower?
I know, it's really hard to argue. All right. Any other questions, comments here? All right, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor say aye. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Tim.
Yeah, thank you. We're humming right along here. I had a few updates I wanted to share. Is this clicker working? Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. First, we have a DID mailer that's going out to everyone within the district. Should be going out the next week or so. That'll include ambassador numbers, which are up here. These were also in your vitals report packet. It'll also have the survey for both property owners and residents. So we'll be able to compile some information, compare that to years past, see how things are going, and share that with you all when it comes in. Also wanted to highlight there are a number of festivals and events going on and coming up, starting with today. So if you haven't been over to Calder yet, go check out Justice for All Jam. That'll be happening until 8 o'clock tonight. And then also this weekend is Pride Fest. And we will continue to keep updating our website and social media. So if you're trying to see what's going on in the week ahead, it's a good resource for it. For us, we continue to do Relax at Rosa, so this is every Thursday through September in the Art Prize. And then we also had a new event that's kind of a throwback in partnership with Studio Park, our Sunset Cinema. This weekend is Toy Story, and then Barbie's the following weekend. So if you haven't been down, come check that out. It's been a huge hit so far, and thanks to our friends at Studio Park.
Full crowd.
Yeah. Turns out people love outdoor movies.
Sure, love 10 things I hate.
Who can argue with that? Couple of other new activities, events to also highlight for you. Our Las Conchas futsal courts, which are over on Seward, at the northern end of the Area 9 parking lot. We have a farmer's market that has started over there, so that is the second Sunday of every month. So we had our first one a few weeks ago, one coming up in July, and hope you can come check that out. And then if there are any soccer fans in the building, this Sunday there's a watch party for Euro Cup, and then Sunday evening the USA plays in the Copa America. So come check that out.
August 6th, and we can have
We
soccer.
didn't even coordinate that.
We can have soccer in our own
It just
city.
rolls off the
Just
tongue.
like that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And the Atlas Contras, the Bridge Street League, which is sort of the one organized league, just wrapped up there on Friday, and it's been a huge success. So those courts are very well used, and to Mr. Lunger's point, an indication of the interest of soccer in our community. A couple of things to highlight for you, not to bring up winter, but we are soliciting grant applications for Activate This Place grants. It would go out in partnership with our World of Winter Festival. So keep an eye out for that. If you know anyone that's interested, direct them to our page. There's an info session July 10 where they can learn more, and then applications are due in August, August 9 to be exact. More wayfinding is approved and going out, so you'll start to see more blue signs pop up. Most of the green ones should be down by the end of these phases, so I'm trying to get those out and just get the new branding in the street, but we've got a lot of good feedback on the new kiosks, and kudos in particular to Melvin for all the work that he's done on that. Signs are looking really good. Also, we are just about to kick off our new Heartside mural, Heartside Historic Murals. So past few years, we've been partnering with Dwelling Place to put on new murals throughout Heartside. 2 new ones will be going in this year. One will be on the big parking ramp just behind Pepino's. And then the other one will be on the GR Noir building right on Division. So working with Dwelling Place, they do a great job in creating apprenticeship opportunities for people in the neighborhood, and then just really highlighting some of the historic, just the stories of Heartside. So excited to see that happening. And then I think last but not least, just wanted to highlight the ongoing transformation of the riverfront. Hopefully you've seen some of this happening. Lion Square is coming along really well. These are actually even a little dated at this point because the new pergola is up. This project will be done by the end of the calendar year. We'll have to come back next spring to do the plannings, but you'll see it wrapped up here in the next few months. The East Riverfront improvements, so these are lower river walk between Blue Bridge and JW, near the JW. Has been closed for a while, but we have been working with the city to get this moving. So this project went out to bid, actually came in a little under what we estimated, which was a pleasant surprise, and we'll be getting underway here shortly. And then the Public Museum, of course, work continues there. That'll be ongoing through into next year, but also taking shape there. And then last but not least, hopefully you've seen, but the Acrisure Amphitheater is off and running, and so the buildings at 201 Market are mostly down. The salt dome up here is going to stay through the winter so that the city can access it and put salt on the streets, but after next winter that will come down, and we'll be enjoying concerts there less than 2 years, May 26th. So you ready for that?
Just tell your friends.
Teeing you up, man. Teeing you up. Those were my comments, but if anyone has any questions on anything there or just DGRI in general, please let us know.
I have a question about the outdoor eating areas and I know some of the structures came out, the road barriers.
Yeah.
Are those staying, are they all coming down or are those staying up?
Some are staying, and I'll look to Mark a little bit. Some are staying. It's all basically now based on the businesses and their interest and willingness in keeping them out there.
But not on this, they can do it on the set, but still on the street a little bit?
Yeah, they still have the full opportunity to utilize it if they'd like.
Got it.
But they are, the onus is sort of on them to
Okay.
make it happen at this point.
Okay.
And Mark, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think that's pretty consistent
Okay.
with what we're doing. They'll only be in the summertime though, so they will come out in like late October per city policy, and then they can bring them back in the spring and summer
So
year.
if they have any plantings or any flowers or anything, that's all, that they're putting that all in,
Yes.
we're not doing that through our
Yes.
beautification?
Yes.
Okay,
And the concrete barriers are pretty much going to be obsolete by the end of this cycle. Most
Got
of them
it.
are already gone, there's a few that are still up.
okay.
Much nicer than the
I s-
barricades.
Yes, I
Yes.
saw it, it looks nice, they have some built.
The
those
designs have
pages.
evolved. since
Yes.
COVID, which is good.
Yes, I love it.
So is there any talk similar to what Cello's has done to making this a permanent thing in the downtown area? Yeah, and I'm just thinking out loud here. I think it's fantastic. I just got back from San Jose. They did some amazing stuff, once COVID hit, and it's a really, first of all, San Jose's high end anyway, but they've really done a high end job of putting outdoor seating there with lots of things to do, restaurants and stuff like that, and it'd be great to see Grand Rapids do the same.
Yeah, and Mark, feel free to jump in. I think we're certainly advocates and will continue to support outdoor activation and dining. I think on Monroe Center specifically, I think what we ultimately want to get to is a redesign and relook at the entire street. In the interim, we'll do what we can to work with businesses that support their efforts to do outdoor dining, but there's no current plan, I guess, in making those things permanent.
But the city does have a parklet program, and I think that's what Uccello's is doing right now, is they're working through that, so I suspect that some of these businesses will continue to do these things in maybe modified forms, but we do anticipate that there is interest from some businesses to continue.
All right, any other questions for Tim or the DGRI group? All right, now we'll open it up for public comment. Right, hearing none, we will move forward. Board member discussion. Josh, anything to state?
Just tell anyone that everyone keeps telling us, oh, it's gonna pass, it's gonna pass. That's how you lose elections. We only have one shot at this. We can't go back to the electorate and ask for it again. And there's not organized opposition yet, somebody's knocking on wood. But there is a very quick turnaround between people voting next week on something that they haven't really probably fully understood about what are they getting, the fact that they're not paying for the most part if you're a Kent County resident, and what the benefits could be to the region if we are able to pull this off. So there's a lot of people working on this, really appreciate it, but we're like 6 weeks away from where does our community want to go, and I think people should be more excited, because I am.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts? I will say that just to reiterate what Tim said earlier about the mailers, if you are a property owner or have any connection to, if you could just encourage folks to take that, those are really helpful. We did get a pretty good turnaround last time they were, but full of good information. So if we could encourage getting more out there, that would be super helpful. All right. Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Josh brought in Amy Taylor, was that her name? At a chamber event, and it was all on the perception of public safety. And I know we keep talking about numbers on public safety, but I was thinking it might be something, I don't know if that falls under the DDA or the DID, but more on or maybe it's under the ambassadors, but more on how it perceives so safe. I thought that was kind of a nice word to use, because no one wants to come downtown unless it feels safe. And I always feel really safe. But I also grew up downtown, so it's a little bit different, but how we could even, as a committee, have more of that perception, just something to think about.
And that was the person, Tim's colleague from Columbus, which is viewed as the best growing city in the country, really, but also obviously in the Midwest. And talked about, yes, real safety is important, but also you can't ignore the perception of it. I will say during those last few weekends, a lot of concerning emails from employers and what they're hearing from their staff and the perception, even though it's just 3 incidents or 2 incidents downtown, it's really easy to get a bad perception and really hard to turn it around. So just being cognizant of what anything we can do as a DID to help out is really important. And I even had an executive from a large employer email. They have someone that's moving from the east side of the state. And they wanted to talk to someone about what's safe versus not safe because they saw the headlines, and they're not sure if they want to choose Grand Rapids. And like, that's how quickly it cascades, and we should be aware that it does have legs.
It's a big deal.
To that, I will just add in some appreciation for the activations. I feel like the public space, the larger public spaces, the more that they're activated on weekends with programming and other things is both a improvement to real safety as well as perceived safety. And so, thank you for some of those investments.
And thank you.
Very true. Any other comments? All right, we will go ahead and adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.
Not as quick as my last, but I'm kind of on a roll. 30 minutes.
You seem the second.
How about that?